Yo, your laptop was burning? My God. That sounds intense. How you guys doing? I'm opening up your guys' work that you guys have posted in the channel. You need to replace the thermal paste. Reached about 85. Dang, dude, that's warm. You had to use a protractor at work today. 4th grade skills really coming in handy. No, that's awesome. That is freaking awesome. Man, ImageGur is rough with ads unless you. I think I found a way around it. We'll see here. Let me open your guys' stuff up though. And when you're posting your work, I don't know if you're in the stream, but if you're posting your work, it'd be useful, I think, for you if you make sure to link what you're looking for feedback-wise. Hello, feel strong, man. Clap. Okay, maybe we should get started, huh? Let me just make sure that Photoshop is all good. Oh, and my freaking tablet. There we go. I'm gonna lower the music here. Hello, Miro. How you doing? Cram, how's it going? Space Marine, howdy. Space Marine, I can't test your game, just as a little heads up. It's actually the first time I think someone's posted a game, so it's kind of cool. But is there any like art feedback you would want on it? Zane, hey, thanks for the 100 bits. What does that convert to? That's like a penny, right? Bits are such an interesting little tool system. I find it intriguing that stuff like that exists. Yo, we got Rachel posting stuff too. Okay, nice. Okay, that's $1 US, is it? Okay. Yeah, these. Hey, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Okay, I'm gonna change the music because it sounds weird when it's just me. So you guys can enjoy your own music, but I'll just have some other stuff going, and I'll just get started here. So, welcome. If you're new here, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Jeremy, or Dynasty as people know me. And this is one of our monthly stream critiques. What's up, Miro? Good to see you, dude. Miroslav. Hello, Polly. Heya. Heya, heya. Okay. Why does it say little Polly? That's funny. Beta Razor, what's up? Runes, yo, hello. Droppy, hello to you. So, first up, we've got Alex T. So, you got your final shots for the sword, looking to post Monday. So, mainly looking for feedback on lighting and any other angles, shots that might be cool to see. So, it looks like we've got your sword material here. I still really feel like this kind of like waviness that's in the material, because it's like what is that steel called? Damascus steel. Thank you, Droppy. So the Damascus pattern, I mean, maybe looking at references, it's probably accurate, but it feels really strong to me. I guess I would assume you're doing this in the normals if you're trying to simulate that. The sculpts look really cool, and man, does it hold up when you get really close. I can't imagine what the resolution is of this asset. But yeah, I guess it's just, maybe it's fine. It feels semi-distracting to me. Dang, that's crazy. This is really cool. It feels all right up here. So overall, the presentation's really strong. Man, I love this like gradient of light on the top edge of the table here that it's leaning against, or chair maybe. I'm not sure if it's a. Oh no, it's a. Okay. So I see now. It's an anvil. So with the anvil that's behind it, it's actually not showing very well because of the, like, all of the attention is on the sword, of course, right? But the anvil itself is very simple in its modeling and texturing. It's very, very simplified. I guess this is a piece of wood that the anvil is on, is my assumption. The wood material itself looks pretty good. It's from Megascans. The anvil is? Interesting. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's up to par with their other assets. That's really intriguing. I guess it's because it's not really intended to be with the camera up close like this, maybe. I don't know if it's worth the extra effort, but like if you were to bring it to ZBrush and sculpt it a little bit just to get some normal info and then baking it down, that might help a lot. Or just get like a really shallow depth of field and really just focus on the sword. The sword looks pretty cool. Maybe the gold elements could be popping a little bit more as gold, but the materials are all reading. The blade itself with the Damascus quality, like the Damascus patterns coming through, and in like a pattern of their own, it looks really nice. I think especially in these, like, you can tell from the renders here versus the renders here. These renders are really intriguing because it really shows how the material reads under different lighting conditions. And this is actually what's impressing me the most. Is it's like this is more of a natural, like scene lit, like in a museum type of look, and the materials really sing. Whereas here it's much more like a stylized lighting in that sense. It's still good, but it's more like hyper real gamey. Whereas this is like realistic, super ultra real. I don't know how else to explain it, but these all look pretty good. Oh, I really like these like experimental shot. I like this angle. Maybe if the shadows were a little softer. And you can just do that by scaling up the size of your light. Seeing the maps. Oh, nice. Yeah, seeing the maps is really nice. Oh, this is really cool. I think I really like this image. But I think where they're really close together, you're getting this weird tangent. I know that's probably intention, but you're getting a little bit of a tangent where like things are meeting like right on the pixel. Just get them a little bit further apart. Maybe even like angle it a bit more. But seeing the maps is really nice. I'd be curious to see the wireframe as well. And yeah, it's interesting with your metallic map as well. Is this your metallic with the gray values in there? Base color, nice. No, this is your roughness. It is metallic. Okay, no, this is your roughness. I'm getting confused because it's above, but it's actually under. Okay, no worries, no worries. But this is going to show really well. This looks nice. But I'm a big fan of this type of lighting. I think if you do your ArtStation thumbnail, should be like a squared off view of this spot, maybe like angled in 3/4 if you want it to be. But man, that is dope. It's very much a portfolio piece. Oh, I get you. I get you. Just keep in mind, just maybe say that the focus is not to be game ready, right? The focus is really about like making it look good. Materials, pushing the materials, pushing the look and feel, not necessarily about being real time. But really nice stuff. And to me the weakest thing is how the anvil's reading. Ha. Hey buddy. How you doing? We got Poodlestein coming in here. Made a couple of materials for my scene. Maybe I can bring this over here so you guys can see. Oh yeah, man. How long is this video? Okay, yeah. Oh, interesting. I'm curious what the reasoning is behind like separating those out like that. I guess because you're not using nice. Hey, you're not using the landscape tool. We can't really. Okay, hang on here. I'll do it like this. That last shot that it lands on is hilarious. So this shot's pretty cool. The fog is a little strong, I would say right now. And the rhyme and reason behind the roots is really kind of chaotic. Maybe we can look at the reference of that really fast here. So you can see like a lot of the times, hopefully this first before I do this, let me know. Can you see that? Yes? All right, cool. So when we look at the language of what's going on with the tree, you have your primary shape here, right? And then I would say this is primary as well. And then you have all this little micro information. If you notice, the micro information really hugs the core shape, the primary shapes. And then only near like maybe in the back here, but only near the bottom does it really like start to fan out and kind of become its own organic shape. The trees back here, dude, these are totally painted. But like you notice how clean the shapes are before it switches to like these finer details. Keep that in mind when you're looking at like, see here's some other good examples of like the finer pieces of the tree. Because when you look at that and then we go back to the shot, you can see how like tangled and intense it is. Really like tune it into like what's going on here. This was very horizontal, and a lot of those vines and roots are going to be very, very vertical. You're getting a little bit of it back here. Maybe the primaries on the kind of Houdini spline system you've got set up back here are a little on the thick side. But it's going to be a balance of that. I think what you're focusing on now looks to be more of like the general material pass. And man, I love these little roots popping out through this like low fog. I would really sort out your roots and vines to just not be so off of the tree until further down, and just spidering out down here versus up here before continuing any further forward. Just because those are going to get harder and harder to work with as you get further into the project. Some of the other stuff I thought was really interesting is this is a good idea with a piece that you can place. I would suggest building another piece that's going to be like that just does this, that, you know, kind of vines out in a direction and is quite a bit longer. That way you can use that to position and lead the eye. So right now you've got like a patch, and having one that you can use to like work with your composition and help you kind of guide the eye is going to be really, really useful. Let's see what else we got in here. I mean, it's kind of like this one. It's like maybe a little less of the micro vines or micro roots, and just lengthening it out a bit more, so that it's very individual from the other assets, the other root assets. This part I thought was really intriguing. I guess you're going for patches. When you're working with patches like this, I would really suggest, and maybe I'm not seeing it because of the lighting, but really push, like, because it's unlit, really pushing the height displacement. That way you get a lot of like bang for your buck with the surface differences. But all the materials are looking pretty good. They're quite consistent. Maybe this is a little light by comparison of here. You want to find that balance of your PBR albedo values. Dude, look at that. So you can see how much more like rhyme and logic and reason there is here versus like in the initial shot we were looking at. It's very much like a set. Whereas like this stuff is feeling kind of like you're in a photo. It gets a little weird back here. So it's really about getting the shapes to read naturally for the trees, I think, and like where you're positioning your roots. This is looking awesome as well. I think really maybe we need to look at the reference, but the surface of the structure of his hut, you can see how dark it is here. Of course, you haven't probably done materials on that yet, but the darkness of it is going to be important, even if it's like an initial pass on the material of it, or if there's no material on it at all. Just put like a constant on there that kind of keeps it in the range that you're looking for. This mega scans that you intend to place, the ground is what you're stuck on right now. Oh, I mean, I would probably some of these devices from earlier streams. Nice. I would probably look at like, think about it in those patches you're doing, these patches are really useful when you want to compositionally move around things, um, and you want to be a little bit more specific with what you're doing with the terrain when you can't like sculpt it, for example. I don't know what's landscape and what's patches, so it's interesting to see that you have patches, but they seem to all be blending together pretty well. It looks like they're all being mapped to the same thing. So it's really about, I guess, how you want to work. I think right now the reason for using patches in like Unreal 5.2 or 5.3 would be that the landscapes don't have nanite yet. And you'd have to build a landscape material. If you're just building like a single shot, going this route with patches can be a good way of building composition and whatnot. I think what would be really nice is if you could build with patches and then select all of them and then push them to the landscape. Like that would be pretty sick, because then you're being a little bit more free flowing and just kind of working as you go. But yeah, landscapes take time. Um, think macro and then work your way down. So you get that base terrain material on, then you think about like, okay, where are my overhangs? Get those placed. How do I blend those together? What comes from those overhangs? We got actual roots coming out. The rocks that are in place, you're gonna get some blending between the terrain and the rocks themselves, getting them to all kind of integrate together and kind of read. And then it's all about like leading the eye with either vertex paint or like what is it, virtual textures, just to like paint pathing, to just lead the eye. Show us what you want to show us in that detail. And you can see there's a bit of grass here as well. I don't think you have the grass aspects yet. Really kind of make sure your fog doesn't take over your scene. But Polystocks is a good question on like when would you recommend patches versus landscape? And I think in reality you use both, and you primarily focus on landscape, and you use patches when you want something very specific. Like imagine a rock, kind of like a set of scanned rocks, and then you have terrain that blends out. That would be a patch, right? And you'd place that on the ground. But that's looking really cool. Let me make sure I read all of your questions here. Do you brute force it with scatter? Or let's see. Oh, the moss on the end was really nice as well. Main thing blocking right now is figuring out how to tackle the ground for the scene. Do I just brute force it and scatter a truckload of leaves everywhere? Start broad. Or do you make some ground patches assemblies with different features? So I would do landscape primarily, and then on top of that, kind of get the patch in where you need to for certain details. Like maybe you can't get the fidelity you want on the landscape. So then let's say this is a patch, and you treat that as like an assembly of like a bunch of little plants and grass and stuff inside of that. And then you can place that wherever you want, and it helps you build your composition and your layout. But yeah, hope that was helpful, Poodle Steam. All right. Next up, we've got Faltera. So we've got the render here, the single image, and then you've also got a video. It's kind of cool. You guys are sharing videos. So the motion is extremely nice. Look at the fabric here. Oh, whoops. Nice. Thanks, Discord. Yeah, if we're looking at this, so the movement's really good. You've got some plants on the ground here. I would say if you could get just really, really small ones that would just kind of break these straight lines, that would be really nice. I kind of feels like you've got a small one here. Just placing a little bit of those in there. But yeah, you've been pushing. Look at this scene. Some other stuff that I would highlight is the building on the right here being so light kind of feels like it's it's not in the same scene. It could maybe be brought a little bit closer to this building. I see the value in having it a bit brighter or lighter. That's how it is in the concept. So don't 100% trust the concept versus like your own eye for balancing a shot. The concept, you're definitely capturing the mood. Getting this a little bit closer, I think, will help make it look those tricksy 2D artists. It'll help bring it closer together. This piece might feel less like it's untextured with this being darker, generally. But to me, this also feels like it's a bit untextured, like there's not a material on there. But this is you should be pretty happy with this. This is looking great. I think the man, you have some great movement in the fabric. Really cool. I wonder if instead of like a light tan color for the like these fabrics in the back, they don't have to be dark, like dark reddish like this one, but getting some other color on it will just kind of make it feel like it's like this one feels okay, but it'll make it feel like it's been textured. Right now they feel very flat, like they don't have an albedo to them. That's looking that's looking really good though. There's nice separation going on back here as well now with the details that are here. I love that you can see into the windows up here also. Up here literally looks like the concept. Let me go back to the I want to just zoom in here. Do you have any decals that you're placing on here? It looks like there might be a little bit, but it's very subtle. This feels like it might be floating. But yeah, those types of decals really help ground things, right? See if you see what happens if you turn it up a little bit more, and even like right here, you can see there's like where this beam meets the wall. These are quite dark. I'd be curious to see what your albedos look like. I know that we're going for a bit more stylized, even though it's realistic. It's like realistic stylized. Seeing some albedos on this really help because this feels really dark to me. But outside, I mean, this is looking great. You're like on the finish line. I can feel it. The wobbliness on the ground here is feeling like it might be, oh, you are so fast. I love it. Where are we at here? So the wobbliness on the sidewalk here, you have it open. The wobbliness on the sidewalk here is very uniform. Like it happens at the same spot every time. It doesn't hurt to remove one of those just to kind of smooth it out a little bit. And these wobbles usually happen from like either the ground displacing a lot over a long period of time or from traffic of people. So like this wobble actually might be better being a little bit wider as people come in and out of here all the time. A wobble, 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 wobble. Just to, it shows the sidewalk dipping there from just repeated footsteps, repeated traffic, if you will. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful. We're gonna look at Little Bear's stuff here. This looks pretty cool. I'm not a gun person, so I'm not very good at the whole critiquing of how a gun looks. I do tend to react on things that feel geometric. But then again, some weapons have that geometric look. You know what I mean? Hey, no problem, Feltera. Any opportunities you have to get a silhouette break, like you've got this shape to this shape. Oh, that's my work. Hello. So you've got this piece to this piece, getting a silhouette break where, let's say this is larger or smaller, you get a shape change right on the edge there instead of it being very straight edged. That's something to watch out for. Oh man, I've always been a big fan of these renders. with this gun spinning behind this, I think it'd be interesting if as they go further back, they become darker, and then there's like a relatively stronger shadow to just separate this from the guns behind it. I don't know if you need this. It's cool looking, but I would prefer that maybe the gun in the middle is still and the other ones are spinning. The temptation to become a hard surface artist again. Um, Maybe one of the other things I could feedback on is just the differences in the materials and understanding why they are. Oh, that's really interesting for whatever reason. Huh. That's weirdly intriguing. You could stare at that for days. Um, Understanding why it's dirty, where it's dirty. I actually like this spinning more than this one. Like this is actually really intriguing. So I'm not usually a fan of the black backgrounds. So I think what you could do, I usually like to have like the same asset scaled up and blurred. Um, what you could do is have these moving in the background, scaled up and very dark and blurred as well, but still spinning. So this everything is kind of like shifting and moving. Plasticity was used. That's really cool. Cinema 4D. So there's some traditional work going on here. Low poly in Cinema 4D. Yeah. Um, the thing I wanted to comment on before we move forward is just understanding what is making the surface dirty and how it becomes dirty. So like right now, this looks like there's a lot of cloudiness happening on the surface. Getting it to be more in the crevices or explaining what type of dirt it is or dust or whatnot, it'll behave in very specific ways, and that will reflect like where it ends up being placed, where it builds up, where it collects, right? So for me, this feels very like you just threw a cloud on there is what it feels like. So watch out for that. Um, a lot of the times, this type of detail is going to be in your roughness, but in certain cases, like dust, maybe dust can be on the surface level as well. Um, but yeah, it's really cool. It's a cool weapon. Also, think about material separations, like making these buttons feel rubbery, but then the frame around it feel like a polymer or like a tough plastic. Is this supposed to be metal? Is it like powder coated? Is it chemically coated? Is there any age and wear that happens to these types of surfaces? Those are the things I get curious about. Um, but yeah, cool. I will click on your Starlight Brigade thing here. So while we won't play it, did you, Space Marine? Did you say you wanted to have like a? Was there any art feedback you wanted? Check out my YouTube for updates. Join the download. Okay, let me hang on here. Sorry, you got flashbanged. Let me just bring this over here real quick. I'm going to your I'm going to your video. 2 seconds here. I don't know if this is like, oh, there we go. So I have no idea about any of this game. I'm now a game streamer. It's happened, guys. So this is quite intriguing. Do Fortnite next. Oh man. Okay, so I don't know what engine you're using for this, but definitely like your frame rate needs love, of course, right? But I really like the idea of what you're doing here. Oh my God, are those gonna? No, it's your recording software, UE5. Okay, dude, downrange. I'm like waiting for the explosion. Oh my God, you can camera hop to them. Yo, this is really cool. Yeah, this is some Stellaris vibes going on here. That's awesome, man. So I can't do anything like this. Just FYI, I just make stuff look cool. But this is really awesome. I think for readability's sake, I would really work on like, so there's a combination of like dark space, right? And getting your ships to separate themselves from space, getting the planet in the distance to blend into the environment that is space without going too I can just go back to that without going too deep into the like being too bright, right? You want to be really focusing on the battle at hand and the ships and whatnot. A lot of games you'll see that they use like nebula like space in order to help pop ships out from the dark backdrop. Um, it's more of a stylistic choice, I think, when it comes to like what you want to do. But with your UI, I'd really try and find a way to unify how your UI is placed. So that way, so for all the units, I mean, this makes sense seeing all this stuff, right? I think having a display that is consistently in the same spot that shows like information, and then this being a toggle, like in the future, you press a button, see all of your data all up front, and then when you zoom out, maybe it combines all that information to show you like the overall stats of all of the ships combined. But mousing over would give you the information in the same spot. That way, it's really quick and easy for you to navigate and make sense of like which, like the stats and data that you need to be able to read up on very quickly, right? It's really cool though. I don't have too much else to add on to that, but that's actually awesome. I'm curious to see more of this. Let's keep going here. Hopefully that was interesting for you. Next up, we've got where are we at here? Remy. I'm sorry, but I'm still struggling with composition for my scene. To be fair, I just came back from almost 3 week vacation. Totally fine. It's important to take vacations, you know. Um, got some advice that in edit 2 the building was competing for attention, and the comp needed more asymmetry, so I've been trying to rework it a lot. Edit 2 is what you last saw. Okay. I mean, I personally I like this shot. Replacing one image. Hang on here. I think this. I would go with this. Hey, it's Space Marine. Thank you. I actually think this shot's quite good. Like I think, what is this when we pull the buildings forward? Like this gets you the symmetry that you need. It's not centered, which is nice. Maybe if you wanted to offset it a little bit more, let me just like copy this. Is that not gonna paste? Cool. Can I drag it in? No, my computer's being weird, guys. I don't know what's going on. There we go. So if we look at compositionally, maybe if you could go really wide angle if you wanted. But see, getting it to frame maybe more of the let me see here. Getting this building closer to this line. You got to be careful of the tangents up in the top left here. That could easily happen. But like framing that up could be really nice. I don't know if you want to go a little wider here, or if you really want to see the road, you could go for something more like this if you wanted. You could really center it up, or put it like this, or somewhere around here. And then you can work on like having a really interesting sky and getting that extra detail of the road. Yeah, rule of thirds, super useful. It's like the cheat of cheats. Runes, yeah, it's totally okay to link already created or completed stuff. I don't know if we'll get to it because now we're about 15 posts in, but post it anyways, and let's see if we get to it. But compositionally, I think it's just framing it up, you know? This framing that I'm using here, you could do this on like if you wanted to, you could do this. Take a screenshot of this. Right? Let's just grab it like really close here. Take a screenshot of that. Undo that. Bring this back. And then just blend this, right? And then edit this and see how this works for you. Like figuring out your composition. Because I think it's really about how you want to frame your shot. Like, see, I think I'm really digging this kind of angle, and I'm looking at almost the center of the inside of the arch here, and that lining up with this line. Exile, how you doing? Anik, good to see you. Would you mind dropping the second one? Is this gonna like, is this gonna work? So this one is definitely working better with the composition we were talking about just a little bit ago. Like just, so even just framing it up like that, you can see. The question is like, I need to see where your sidewalks or the curbs are going to be that really help. Yeah, this is closer to what I was mentioning, funnily enough. I'm a huge fan of like really wide shots too, so. But yeah, I need to know the structure of the ground before you can make a call on your composition, because that'll really dictate where things rest and how things kind of align. DEFCON, what's up, man? Good to see you. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes once you're happy with the composition. Okay. Look at this mask. So, Rachel, yo, good to see a post from you. I like it. I like it a lot. Here's a work in progress of my Knight's helmet. Would love feedback on the textures, lighting, and general feedback on ways to improve. The helmet is based on a concept. We'll open that up. Here's a work in progress of the full character, the zebra sculpt, and the high poly bakes. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. So with a character like this, I'm not a character artist, right? But Morbidity, hey, good to see you. So I'm not I'm not a character artist, of course, right? But man, I think I moved my camera again. What's happening? Um, but everything's kind of composition, right? It's what we're looking at here is a character that has the pose of a character, right? But the where the details are is the same as how you would treat an environment. You're thinking, um, where's the areas of rest? What do you need me to focus on? Like, where are we looking? The cape, for example, that's the area of rest. When the helmet is on, that becomes the focus. You can see there's the accents of the lighter colors, even though we're just looking in, I'm assuming poly paint. Um, but everything really draws you to the head. So there's a nice balance, even though it's really high detail. Uh, when it comes to when you look at this concept, I think what's going to make your work really shine, like even in this view, I would highly suggest trying to match the roughness values. So like even in like just marmoset, if you can just control the roughness and like what's metallic, um, getting that balance is what's going to make this read really well. So when we see here, like this is very like crunchy, right? There's a lot of noisy information in there. Noise isn't necessarily bad, but right now we're looking at just the helmet up close. I would like to see what the surface reads as from this distance. Like, does it look like this, or is it too busy? It's hard to tell. Um, but I'm really liking the direction of the surfaces, like the way you're rendering them. Let's see if we can get. We have another. Hang on here. There we go. I'll just dive into the. So there's a lot of like really cool layering that looks like it's happening in the roughness, and then of course some color in like little areas that are building up. This is really cool. Uh, it's nice to see some directionality in the way that the surfaces are being aged or damaged. Um, there's nice micro normal information that's not too strong, so the surface still reads like if you squint, the surface still reads quite smooth, but has the texture that you would expect. You know, this guy's not messing around, man. So I'm wondering if it's really going to depend on how you want to light this, but you can see a lot of the like everything is quite dark, right? And but still visible. The thing that's really sticking out to me is like the glowing bits. Of course, there's like this really like intense shine on the side here, and you could definitely get that into your asset as you go forward. But really think about where your emissives are, and incorporate that into like how the helmet, like this inner area, like I would expect to see either reflectivity of the glowing eye, or like some lighting that's just kind of emitting, that's really affecting the surface of the helmet around the eyes. Man, this is really cool. So I don't know how versed you are in like rigging and getting a character to animate, but if you could have the character sitting there like in the shadows, right? And you can kind of see the metals, and then you get the glowing eyes, and then the flash of lightning and rain, camera panning down the surface as it's raining, and you can see the raindrops going off of the metal, and then the flash of lightning that gets all the metal to like pop, and then darkness in the eyes and stuff. Dude, bro, that's exciting. I'm digging these surfaces though. I can't tell if they're too busy yet. We need to see the character at the distance that you would expect to see it at. because that'll help me make an assessment more of the, because I look at the textures and I'm like, that looks sick up close. But what does it look like at this distance? You know, how does it read overall once you've done the full pass? How does the cloth read once you get the cloth materials going? But this is extremely promising. This looks dope. Maybe there's, okay, you see the area here, how it's a little darker on the inside there? Anywhere that you could show how pieces move around and rub against each other, or like how sweat or anything like that kind of like creates these discolorations or scratches in the way the metal rubs, that'd be next level. And I think that's just a matter of exposing metalness in areas and removing some of the color when it happens. But yeah, really nice. Really, really nice. Thanks for sharing that, by the way. Okay. I think we'll move on now. Did you get everything that you feel like you needed? Oh, yo. Oh, this is kind of cool. Caden, been working on stylized brick materials for a sewer scene and following a tutorial by Jimmy, is it Malachar? Or Malachar? Shire? I don't know. In Substance Designer. It's my first time making tiling textures, so looking for advice on issues that to look out for. Worried I got a bit carried away and it become too noisy. So honestly, it's not feeling too noisy. I'm not really a fan of this one, just because the spots of the moss are so like prominently large and even. This one I like a bit more just because it feels more grounded in the scale. But let's copy this image and see if we can't show you a thing. So wait a minute, what? How did I? Are those alpha? Is that alpha background? I'm weirded out now. PNG in it. So the thing that's weirding me out is how the moss has like a shadow. I don't mind that it's not the displacement looks inverted actually right now, but I don't mind if you don't displace this. So like if we're to think on the surface here, so we've got, like, let's say this is the plane, the displacement, right? This is after it displaces. This would be your brick, and then the grout area usually will dip in, and then at a brick, and then the grout area, and then a brick. And then wherever you have the moss build up, it's going to be like lifted, right? So think about that in the height range. Right now, what you have looks like the inverse of this. So your bricks, so this is facing out instead of it facing out this way. So your bricks are going inwards, and then your grout is outwards. Now, when it comes to the albedo side of these surfaces, the thing that's kind of thrown me off is these shadows that are under here. Because while those shadows are fine, I think good for like a stylized look. You're really gonna want to like get those shadows to have color to them, and I think they'll connect better if they are actually closer in value to the rest of the moss, but just like slightly darker, right? So you can see like now that is much more grounded to the brick and has a bit of a roundness to it just by adding that undershadow or that darkening on the bottom edge there. And it doesn't have to be like, this really helps with stylized, is it doesn't have to be so so dark. Like right now, those pixels are really dark, right? And getting some of those shadows to just be a lower value version of the moss will go a long way. So you can see how much that does compared to like the side details here. And that's just kind of taking this and just filling in those areas where it's a little bit darker. And it ends up feeling more fluffy. The other thing you could do is like if you wanted to, let's just grab this. Maybe we eyedrop that and we raise the brightness just a hair. See, now you can get the fluffy tops that really kind of like push the fluffiness of it. And just remember to keep those undervalues kind of in a darker spot. So just to kind of reiterate, we've got this, and then we're doing this, right? And we're getting those gradients in there, and then we're adding a little bit of a highlight on the top. That's giving you the softness that we're looking for. But yeah, I think that'll help you with the details. Oh my God, that's a big old brush. I think that'll help you because you can see the difference. Really, really dark pixels are your enemy when it comes to that. You can see you're getting it here as well. Same approach is getting this to be here, and then maybe you use the underside to make your stones or bricks darker. And now all of a sudden that's popping out versus like I wonder if I can add a highlight here. Nope. This gets your brick to pop out from the wall, right? And as long as there's not like a gap between that and the grout, it will feel like the brick or stone is in front depth-wise from the grout. Because the grout can get darker in the undersides here, right? It's just an inverse pattern that's happening. But yeah. Otherwise, I think it looks pretty cool. The stones are also quite interesting. And don't be afraid to like tone down the blobbiness of the grout. And you can maintain that look in other ways, and choose areas where you want it to pop, where you want it to get a little chunky, which is usually in these gaps here. Of course, in some areas it's going to get a little bit wider, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But just make sure that there's a consistency to like how the grout is placed. Like this gap here is really strange to me. I don't know what that is, but I think closing it up all of a sudden like helps with the connection between the materials. Yeah. I'm actually kind of surprised how well that turned out. Apparently I can paint a little bit now. That's cool. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful. Oh, we got Alex in here. Yo, welcome back to the server, by the way. This looks like it's your reference, which is really cool. Love the idea. So you're going in, you're running a sculpt. Sculpt is looking dope, actually. Let's copy this, post this in here. What are you guys laughing about? Yeah, it's the color versions of reference. Wanted to ask for details on the on the sculpt overall. Oh, welcome back to the server part. Yeah, happens, man. It happens. So, let's break this down a little bit. So I'm just gonna lower this a little bit here, so we can draw on here. So you've got the suction cup, right? This ring on the inside, and then you've got the outside edge of it, which is very thin by comparison. And you can see on yours right now, these are varying in size. These ones are quite consistent. So getting that to be pretty consistent is going to be important. And then getting the edge around it to be consistent as well. And then seeing where that all goes when you look at the edge in here. So let me just do this again. So getting that to happen with this consistency and the big open suction cup, but then also there's like this kind of V shape that happens in here, and then a bit of a diamond shape that happens in here. What you could do is you could sculpt just a single suction cup, right? And just get that looking pretty good. This is my amazing drawing skills. And then extract that as like an alpha in, I don't know if you're using, it looks like you're using ZBrush. So you extract that as an alpha, and then you can drag these out, and they'll just stamp themselves down. And that can be like a really good way of pushing that. Let me see. So it's 904. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I'm going to closing the reviews. If I have time for more and you guys are in chat, I'll let you know that there's more room. Because what we're going to do is I'm going to spend a little bit more focus time on this as well. I'm going to open up ZBrush and show you kind of what I'm talking about when I draw on this. Let's just like, I don't know, we'll just, oh yeah, thanks. There you go. ZBrush. So I'm not like Rachel with ZBrush. So if we're looking at like this suction cup, right? It's really about getting that. I mean, maybe you can focus the edge a little sharper. Think about it in layers, right? And then also think that it can dip down as well. Oh wow, this is not. But it's also going to be about the crease. I'll show you what I mean there. I'm just going to do that so I don't have to worry about this stuff. So like the damn standard brush, for example, if you lower the intensity here, we can just kind of like try and get you a nice crease on the inside there. And that crease will be important going outwards as well. And remember that if you need to, let me look at the reference here again. If you need to, you can use that crease inverse as well to get these little highlights, right? So let's say we are doing this, and then you go with Alt key, you can go up, and then no Alt key, you can go down. And then when it gets out here, this is where, to me, this is where the fun is out in this area. Because like, if you wanted to like add some veins or anything like that, you can crease like this, and you get some really cool like kind of extra layers on top. This is one of my favorite brushes because it helps you define a lot of these like extra details. Maybe you want the suction cup to have a little bit of a tooth to it, right? And maybe we need more resolution to make this happen. But yeah, you can see like even just bringing this up and over, like that does so much for like that added detail. And if you go quite macro with it, you can smooth that out and really like bring details that are happening on the under part of the skin, like or under the surface, and then bring this crease back, and that'll help you like get these like macro surface. Orbs brushes are really cool for this. Yes, Orbs brushes, hands down, get those. They're really good. They're really good. I actually don't have them in here right now, which is kind of like blasphemy. Trim Dynamic can be really nice as well if you want to. Like Orbs brushes will be able to do this better, but you can get like a nice like stylized edge to the tops, or anywhere that you want a little bit of a tooth to it. They're also for Blender. Yeah, Blender also has the Orbs brushes now. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of not go too deep into it, but just kind of talk about like this information, because what you're doing really nicely right now is like this macro shape that's happening here. Then you have this shape, you need the ring here, and then these macro shapes are just excuses for you to have the creases that you want, right? So you think you do this, and then you get this one here, and then you get this like information that's happening here, and you get the little diamond like star thing here, and all those just start going. Dynasty Baldur's Gate stream, man, that game looks really cool. There's no way I'll ever have time for it. I'm kind of sad about it. I'm still freaking level 31 in Diablo. Like, I'm sad, bro. I'm sad. Let's move on. Axel, what's up, man? How you doing? No play, just work. Nice. Tears. Tears to my ears. Oh my gosh, look at this scene. Your master's project so far before my submission next week. Oh, you got your submission next week. Okay. So, man, that's looking good. Hang on here. Hang on a minute. So, really digging it. This area in particular, this one, man. Look at this like nice balance of like usage of your plants. Super nice. Oops, as I delete it. Let's figure out what's going on here. This is looking freaking great though. So, I think my favorite area is this. Like this really looks like it's got the focus. It's had the time that it's needed, you know? You can see I'm making it bigger as I look further out. it's had the time needed to make it look good. Your attention to like how you're using foliage is really nice. I'm trying to see what's going on here. So first of all, let's talk details. So high frequency details, right? They're kind of that's your high frequency detail in this area. I want to say I'd be careful, but I kind of feel like because of the fidelity there, you would expect high frequency here as well. But I really feel like we shouldn't focus on it like that. I'm almost wondering if this could benefit from something like this. Just trying to see here. Because you know what it is the moment you see that cockpit, that window. So you don't necessarily need to see the whole wing. Framing wise, this feels kind of cool. Because what I would do is actually focus on this shot. The next thing I would say is your brightness, your exposure is super high. Let's go in and do a little check here. Yeah, so what we're looking at right now, see where it's blue? You're blowing out your pixels, so you have no information there. And where it's like light blue, kind of similar story. Light green is kind of okay. What you would want is you want like a light green to light blue where the highlight's happening. You can get this gradient map on Patreon, on the Patreon page. You'll also notice that the backdrop behind is not dark like over here. So this is the same story, but in the other direction, right? So if the pixels are black, there's no information. And when we go back like this, I would say it's okay. That looks okay. What I would do is maybe make the backdrop back here behind the light ray have a similar kind of palette, like value palette to this. So get that area kind of darker, and then really, really tone down the light ray. Like it's nice having the God ray, but you really want it to feel like it's maybe 25% of what it is right now. It should be there just enough to make it feel like it's there, because that's all you need is for us to know it's there, right? So if we go in, let's see if we can. Let's see if I can push this around a little bit. Maybe we go to midtones. Yeah, see, this is helping a little bit, but we can't actually push it around anywhere because the pixels are already white. That's what we mean by like the values. You just can't work with them because they're already blown out. Like if we're like, okay, let's just push this down. You can see those will stay until the very end. Like, look at that. So just toning that down is going to do a whole lot, like a ton. The other thing is working with your contrast to get those details to come through. So let's say like let's see if I can't do this. Is AI going to help me today? Nice. I'll take it. I know the glass is see-through, so maybe I should be including that, but actually, let's include that. let's include that. We'll include at least these ones. That's not grabbing at all. Thanks. And then I'm just gonna doodle these real quick. So if we grab this, and then let's push these down. And of course, the saturation's way wrong. So just make sure it's not like that. Maybe it's cooler as well. I don't know. No, that doesn't make any sense. How am I gonna do this? Maybe more like that. And then where the glass is, we just put a mask on that and just kind of, we'll do, yeah, something like that. So what we're trying to do is really like show you the inside and just draw your eye to it as like something that's, because like without that, you know, it becomes, it's just not as, it's not as engaging, right? So we turn this up and we fake like the bounce light coming in. What are we doing here? Oh, there we go. Fake the bounce light coming in. You get this like really interesting read on the inside of the ship, right? And that the fact that there's no light coming in there. If you tone all this down, then we really only have to worry about a handful more things, which is things like this area. So this edge here. Figuring out what to do with this edge is difficult. I can completely understand. First of all, I think doing anything that makes the edge not even is going to help. So like any extra geometry you can throw at the edge of the terrain, dipping into the water is going to be very useful. If there's any rocks that you have that you can place at the edge just to like give you like a hit of shape. Think about where these would go compositionally to the whole frame. And of course, like things get darker as we. So think about this as it's like a rock, right? And then you can use that as an anchor to put lily pads around. And don't forget that you can really push the size of lily pads and really kind of make it its own character or story on like where they collect around stuff. It's like in shadow over here. And don't be afraid to reuse a lot of the props that you've made here to just kind of fill in all the little gaps and crevices. Maybe there's some plants that are growing on the edge of that rock or something like that. The stuff back here, just tone it down to like darker values like this. I think this will go a long ways, and then you just get that ray to just really tone down and you'll be in a good spot. And I think this frame right here, this looks like a really cute Ewok story that's about to happen on some other planet, you know? Ewoks on a jungle planet, and they're just like playing around on this like little children Ewoks. Muck, I just saw your message. How did I? That's amazing. Babu Frick just chilling in there. It would be interesting if you do this animated, you could have a red light in there that's like pulsing. You know? It's just like, oh, I'm like, how do I do this? Is there a way? Or like flickering like that? There you go. Yeah. Did not end well for stormtroopers. I mean, stormtroopers don't fly these, right? It's TIE fighter pilots. Not the Ewoks. Dude, Ewoks in their eating dance rituals. Really cool, though. Nice work so far. This is turning out really nicely. And I think I would highly suggest looking at this framing. If you want to get really extra, you can put decals of footsteps following the beach. Or this sand bank here. Maybe going into the trees. Tell us a story. But yeah, this looks really good. All right, Fatal. Yo, this dude, the glow up on this is the real deal, man. So, hey, looking for a quick wins before I finish this material. Oh, and then you gave us some maps too. Bro, this is what I'm talking about. Yes. So there's one with, there's this one. You got some trim sheets here. So you're saying moss. Hang on here. Oh my god, are you guys blind? I'm blind. Ugh. Yeah, so you got a mossy one. Are the... Wait, what? Hang on. These look the same to me. But they're not. So one's more mossy. Why do these look the same to me? Your flashbangs do nothing to me. I see. I see. Okay. Is it this one? There we go. So the moss is like all encompassing, right? So let's see if we can get to like kind of the same area. This is not the same area at all. Okay. I don't know why I'm doing that. Hang on here. It was a challenge to myself and I failed. Work smarter. So the moss is extremely subtle. Yeah, the moss is definitely going to be rougher. I mean, when we look at the maps, right? So the moss version. What do we got here? Okay, so I think your biggest weakness, just looking at these maps, is your roughness, followed by your ambient occlusion. Your ambient occlusion is extremely strong. Like, let's bring this in here too. So if we look at your ambient occlusion, what you shouldn't have is this type of information inside your AO. So make sure that this all gets kind of smoothed out to like a white, and it's more about the edges. So if we go and we take a levels here, and we really just push this, this is actually more of an accurate ambient occlusion for, you probably want this gradients here because of the tilt of them, right? But this is probably more accurate for games. You have to remember that ambient occlusion isn't actually a real physical thing. It's kind of like a crutch for our inability to have this level of fidelity in shadows. The other thing I would say is the darkest your albedo or your ambient occlusion should never hit pure black. It should be somewhere around, I don't know, 32 to 255. Is AO what you in the room right now? Is AO... I read that so wrong. Is AO in the room with you right now? No? It doesn't... It's not a problem to have that. It just... What happens is when the material is in shadow... this gets added on top of it or multiplied on top of it, right? So your material becomes darker. So if your material generally is dark or darker like this, your stone in shadow will always be this much darker. Hey, Nemesis, have a good one. Cheers for hanging out. So that's something to keep in mind. Definitely, like, just pushing this up like this is already helping a lot. Something to keep in mind. Now, when it comes to the moss, let's get in here. Don't blur your stuff too harshly. Maybe just on the edges there. I think that's more than enough. But let's zoom in here. So your moss is doing something. I just want to see if, like, it's like, can we go greener? Like, really emphasize the moss, you know? Maybe we push the saturation down a little bit. Like that, I can see the moss now. But now I can see it's everywhere, right? So what you want to do is really like you want to push for the moss to happen in areas that make sense to you. Like maybe it's building up in the crevices. You get the little crack here and some moss buildup. Maybe it splotches on in some areas. It's still too green, like blue green. But I think you get the idea. And remember, like it can happen in like these inner areas where there's all this contact, and then maybe down here. Let's just do this, and I'll just kind of erase around. And then let's look at that color again. Let me make it a little bit more. I mean, maybe it can be more saturated if it's a little bit more yellow, but getting it to identify itself would be good. Right? And the moss is also going to lift. It's the same we were seeing in the other work. So like for example, getting those under, oh man, I'm not even going to try a paint on this. Getting under shadows where the moss is coming in. You know, that's to me that's the key. Is really like getting it to pop and having it happen on just some areas as well. Like maybe it's here and maybe it's up here. And now you're getting that contrast between the surfaces, right? It's not so binary. The other thing is like, wouldn't that look too repetitive? It could look too repetitive. But that's where like decals can come in, and like you put ivy on top of this, you don't even see the repetitiveness, right? One way to get away from repetitive patterns is to just make sure that the value is very similar between the two. That one doesn't become extremely dark while the other one's extremely bright, because you'll really pick up on repetitiveness there. Yeah, and then the other thing is like where the moss is, maybe you do a complete change of surface. Like don't even show the rock anymore or the stone. Maybe it turns into like the albedo and normals of the moss itself, right? And it can be clumpy and kind of lumpy and whatnot. But yeah, hopefully you can see the difference with that type of stuff. When it comes to the repetitiveness that you're worried about, I think a lot of that comes down to just propping on top of it to hide that. But you're focusing more on materials, right? Right now, you're really wanting to push this material. Don't worry about the repetitiveness as long as it's not repetitive in the material that you're looking at. I don't know I don't know where it's tiling. I guess it's like, it looks like it's tiling here. So this is the tiling point here. And then it does 3 and then it tiles again. So it will look like it's happening a little bit because it'll be here. So it'll be a matter of balancing like where it's happening. Also with the blues up here, man, you can get some really cool like moss buildup, kind of removing the blue. Like that would be, oh man, that'd be cool. See, and maybe it's like leaking down and just like the moss is following the moisture. So it's just some stuff to think about. The other thing you can do is when you put these on a wall, you can blend between the two materials. Like you can get the really, really mossy one and then the not so mossy one, and then you use vertex paint to blend between them or masks to blend between them as well. The only other thing I'd mention is this wetness that you have in your roughness maps. I think having this have more logic as to where it is. Like things that are overhanging would have like a primary like drip effect that's happening, and not look so. Right now it feels quite random where they're happening. I believe this is all for a wall, right? So I would actually save this drips for another roughness map that you would apply in the shader, based on how you're UVing your trim sheets. But yeah, really cool. It's 9:33. Marvin, let's go. Look at this guy. Dude, this looks loads better. Oh yeah, have you guys seen this? You guys know how to do this? It's really annoying when you don't know how it happens. So if you're moving your mouse and you double tap control, nothing happens, right? Tapping control, nothing. If your mouse is not moving and you double tap control, you'll get this thing. And then you just press control once more and it'll go away. Kind of cool if you want me to highlight something. It's supposed to help you like find your mouse. But yeah. For what program? Just Windows. I'm not even on 11. This is like 10 stuff. There's also a turntable that's a little further down. Oh, really? Oh, I see. So this looks definitely better. Dude, that glass in there is pretty sick. That's not on 11? Yeah, I didn't think so. Confirm not on 11. That's great. Ooh, look at that close up. So, ooh, I love the dent here too. So there's some nice extra details that are happening on the metal. Really, really nice. The noise of the surface of the normals here. I would work on variables between this and not at all. So you would either use a mask. I don't know what you're rendering this in, but using a mask to control the strength of this, because you don't want it to be this strong everywhere or it becomes really busy. The glass for the eyes looks great. The rust, I can't tell how big this thing is because the way the rust is, I guess the screwdriver tells me the size. But the rust feels really small detail-wise when I feel like those should be larger, you know what I mean? He's pretty small. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine his head is maybe this big. Does that look about right? If I can. Hey, Remy, have a good one. Thank you for coming by. Yeah, I'm just guessing off the size of this. So this tool feels like it maybe could be a little dirtier. PT, nice. I would really tone down the strength of your detail normals that are everywhere. There's a lot of rust that's happening kind of uniformly. I would try and maybe control that a little bit more. Tools are from Polyhaven, not mine. I mean, that's fine, but you should modify it to make it work for your scene. Because right now it's not blending in, right? Don't skip leg day. Oh, I was like, there's no legs, man. But you're talking about Remy. Let's look at this turntable here. Oh, it looks better from this distance. Man, there's a lot going on. Dude, look at the inside there. Your glass is really cool. I think I need to see it in context of a scene, if that makes sense. It looks cool, though. It's just really detailed up close. Like, the surfaces need to smooth out just a little bit. You can rely on roughness to get you that extra amount of detail. But this is a huge level up. Also, what's the resolution of this texture? Is this intended to be game ready? How would you go about making the PET? Yeah. This is like Wally finding a new toy. Very true. So, it's 8K. Was for a short film I made. Oh, cool. So the scale of the rust. So it's a combination of like the size of the mask that's displaying the rust, but then also the noise of the detail that's in the rust. Because like this level of detail or the size of the information kind of makes me feel like this is much larger, like maybe 3 times the size. But I mean, I could be wrong. It just it there's scale issues that are making me wonder the size of the character. And then I see that like the antenna here looks really tiny, but maybe that's part of the quirkiness of the design, right? Man, 8K is extremely high res. That's crazy. But film, what you gonna do? Um, I would maybe I don't know, man. I've like feeling like toning back some of the rust would help on the arms, but generally speaking, this is a huge improvement. Huge improvement. I could send that. Yeah, please. Sleepy. That sounds good. Or Marvin. Are you guys doing all right? Rune, we're about to look at your stuff. I see it. I see it. Give me a second here. I'm just gonna bring this over here. I was like much more shiny in this video. It looks like. You can skip through it. Yeah, you wanted to make him portfolio ready. That makes sense. Yeah, he's extremely glossy in the video. That's amazing. Yeah, I really like that robot vision. This is like seeing in pixels. That's cool, man. Yeah, so by comparison, this actually looks better than the what we're seeing in the video because of this all being like a metal material. It really will affect the way that it's received based on the environment it's around, right? So the reflection capture that the surface picks up on, that's what's gonna like push the surface. And I wonder if the reason it looks so good here is because the lighting in the other scene maybe is not as natural as the lighting is here. This definitely does look better though. Um, yeah, I mean, I would just be careful with the amount of like it becomes very noisy very fast. So you want to be really selective on how you're adapting that. Uh, yeah, it was a huge improvement, right? How you doing, Hoff? Is that Hasselhoff? Yo. So less rust and scale up the details a little more so it doesn't feel so large in the rust. Yeah. And then I mean, just see how crunchy and noisy the surface information is generally. I think that would improve your asset more than the rust comment that I made when it comes to like the readability. Is just like toning down the amount of information that your eyes are trying to take in. Okay, we're on to the last one here. Just want to preview it really quick. Yo, this is awesome. Okay. Going all the way up. Final Fantasy fan art. Yeah. This is cool. Man, the skin is actually pretty nice there. That's awesome. Okay, I'm just gonna. Oh, I love this. Breaking down some stuff. Oh man, I haven't seen wireframe turntables in ages. So the fidelity on the boots is a bit high. I guess you're going for more cinematic modeling. The clothing is mainly what felt odd. Today we spin. Dude, it's so true. Lots of spinning today. So texturally speaking, I would say it looks pretty good. It's maybe a bit pristine, like a bit smooth. Nice runes. That's awesome. It's maybe a bit smooth, or like clean, like sterile. Patterns look sick. Maybe the detail size of the fibers could be different, right? That maybe that would help. Um, but I think generally speaking, when I'm looking at the wow, this is cool. I think generally speaking, looking at the materials. Let me see what we got going on here. Okay, right now your character's pose. I think this has a lot to do with the way the fabric is kind of happening. Yeah, the breakdowns are really nice. So you see the stretching here and the stretching here with the pose. So you're going with the A pose, but the legs are really close together. I think widening the legs a little bit, pose wise, is going to help with a lot of the like cloth simulations to try and get some natural wrinkles in there. Because the reason you want the A pose, as far as I remember, is it gives you the flexibility of having the cloth and being able to sculpt, and everything is just in a more comfortable position. It's easier to rig as well. Um, but yeah, I think what's making the materials not feel right to you is they feel really thin. They don't have the strength. Like this feels really soft here. When I guess you would expect that to maybe either be a rope or like I wonder if let me see if I can find some reference here. Oh, I think we missed Victor. We missed you. Oh man, I missed a bunch of people. Hang on here. I scrolled past a bunch of people. We're coming to you. Don't you worry. No one said anything. Oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah, we'll finish this one. I'll get to you guys. Just like, wait a minute. Um, I can't find any like good reference of this character. I get your image when I search though. That's kind of cool. But yeah, it's really going to be about like what are the materials made out of, getting the thickness to feel right. Oh, thank you. Of course, we can always rely on fandom. Yeah, see, even that image is not enough to really know, but you can see like how the cloth like bunches up and is like tighter in this area. Seeing where the this pattern here, like this yellow, goes over the top of this and under like a jacket or like a vest or something. I can't really tell. Maybe it's going under the ropes, but it's really about pushing like the head and the helmet or the head gear feels pretty good, but it's like it's how thin the cloth feels, like getting to feel constructed That's going to be like the more important part. Like you're getting it a little bit here, but give some thickness to that stuff. The purple part looks skin tight. Yeah, you're talking about this stuff here. Yeah, this is pretty tight to the body, whereas the rest is kind of looser. This is also nice with these are like, yeah, man, I kind of wish I knew more about characters because I wish I could help you more. I know that in our Discord we have some character artists that would be very helpful. Character art is crazy hard. Okay, I'm gonna go back up and make sure I didn't miss anyone here. So this one here, Pero. Yeah, look for Rachel in the Discord or hashtag character on your critique post, and I bet you'll get some help. So working on this asset right now. It's my first attempt at a real time. It's a real time scene. I'm an architect with some recent experience in 3D, which in turn was aimed more towards 3D printing and graphics, but trying to change this. This asset is based on an existing building. It's a palace in France. Besides making it into a real-time asset, I might try to 3D print it also. Interesting. Sorry if I read that. It's just kind of weird. No worries. There's a thread in critiques called where I dump all the pictures. There's also a video of the earliest tests in the asset Unreal. I mean, I'm gonna dive into this image because like there's a whole lot of pieces you got floating around up here. I guess is the intention that you're gonna see it from down below. Because like detail wise, I kind of want to find this thread you're talking about. You can link those, you know, if you right click on the channel or the thread that you made, you can copy a link to it and then you can edit your message and post it. But so the thing is you made an early block out and now you're working on the details. Okay. 2 seconds. Hello? Hello. Okay. Just pasted the link in stream critiques. All right, let's take a gander. Oh yeah. Okay. So try and work smart, not hard, right? So this window you should only have to make once, for example, like, and then you just dupe it wherever you need it. I'm sure you know that. It's just something to iterate on. Man, this is looking cool. So you're right now. It looks like you're constructing it in your DCC package. I would try getting it into an engine, just so that you don't have to worry. Okay, it's in Unreal. Very good. Very good. All right. Holy cow. Are these yours? Bro. Other project of mine. Did you do that? Is that you? That's kind of crazy. So I'm going to just say it like, if you want to get some quick attention, just make one of these windows. Just make one of these. Just this corner of this building and this, and like maybe these pieces. Get that all like lower poly, baked down, textured. Put that on ArtStation. You will get some followers, and then you can continue building that this building. I mean, this is that's crazy. I mean, I see where you're heading, so I don't even know. I don't even know, man. I don't know what feedback to give you other than when you're working on this stuff, try and make sure that you're like working in a more of a modular sense. So that way you're like, oh, I'll just make one corner and then that whole corner solves every corner. I make one window that has the same window for every, this wall piece is just one modular piece. So that way you work faster, just through being cheeky and smart about how you're reusing your geometry. But I think I don't have any feedback for this per se yet. I just want to see it in Engine. I want to see the progress. This is 3DS. Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. There's a small video in the thread, really? Okay, I'll check it really quick here. You start so far away. It feels like it might be a little small, but I could be wrong. It could just be because of how fast you're moving too. That's pretty sick. Yeah, I need to see more progress. Turning cogs curious. Okay, I'm going to hop to the next one. So we've got 3 more to go, it looks like. And then we can call it good. If you posted today and you're new to the server, thank you very much for sticking your neck out and just kind of making it happen. This one is from ASM, or ASM. Hey, Jeremy, I'm nearing the ending stages and need some feedback on how to improve the scene at this stage. Composition, lighting, textures. Third screenshot is the main shot. That's an interesting... Your main shot is square. So, composition, lighting, etc. So all of the greenery stuff that you've got going on feels very green. Just so you know, that I think that's the thing that's sticking out to me the most. Otherwise, the surfaces maybe like there's some roughness details that are maybe feeling a little strange. Like this feels a bit more stylized. Maybe that's okay. Like this looks like it's nearing the end for sure. Maybe the information behind the gate could be a little bit darker just to kind of give you some separation there. This could be too dark. Let me see what else we got going on here. Yeah, it's actually square. Wow, this is so intriguing. It's getting warm in here. Hang on here. Okay. Let's go to play here. Let's just do a quick levels check. Yeah, so make sure that these areas where it's black, make sure that you make it bright enough to at least get some information in there. So this is cool. I don't know what the story is. Like this being destroyed like this. I feel like there's a story here that I'm not seeing. Oh, you want to offer me a promotion for my channel? Oh, thanks, man. Wait, there's another one? I only saw one of them. Gonna grab some followers. Let's go. Where was the other one? Yeah, the feeling of this scene's really cool, though. So it's supposed to be destroyed And the prisoners escape through sewers. Aha. I didn't even realize this was a prison. I mean, I see what you're saying, and I'm actually not sure how you would tell that story. But yeah, I feel like, so these are really green. They're quite solid feeling right now. I think if there was more of this type of stuff coming off of it, it kind of break this hard edge. This stuff here feels a little bit tacked on, like it's very seaweed like, or like I would take this information and put that here. Is this supposed to be near the ocean or something? Some broken shackles might do the trick, yeah. I want to see a roughness pass in here because I need to understand what your roughness is looking like right now. Let's see here. So this shot's cool. I don't think you need it. This shot's pretty interesting. I don't know what's going on here, but this angle's kind of intriguing. Maybe if it was looking more down, like you take this shot here, you go up a little bit and look down and really focus in on the sewer entrance here. Volumetric fog. I don't know why that's there though. Like it's the brightest thing in the shot versus like out here. Like I don't understand. Is there like a flashlight somewhere? Yeah, it probably needs to be turned down to maybe like 10% of what it is. Oh, it's moving. Capture the exact moment. Yeah, so just thinning it out will help a lot, and maybe making it more of a broad pass on the like the lower level. It'll help you separate from the second floor as well, which will be really cool. I mean, this I don't have too much to say other than the green here. I'm a little weirded out by the square frame, but I think that's just because I'm not used to seeing this very often these days. It'll make your thumbnail game easy. Some debris in the steel door could help with selling a story. Yeah, really getting it to feel broken. Some shackles that were either left here or here because everything's really like focusing you here. I see this secondary. If you get a chance, could you post like a roughness and metallic map? I'd really like to see where that's at. I need to keep moving. But generally speaking, it's just this stuff here. Ooh, there's some spider webs too. Maybe careful with the spider web scale and making it feel grounded. You only need a few of them to really say it's spider webs. And then you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Maybe lower the emphasis on this corner and really make it about this door and this grate. Like experiment with this light being on the inside and light spilling out from that doorway instead. And then maybe some shackles. I think shackles is a really good idea. Hassle. Cool. Okay, I'm going to jump into this one. Look at this. So you got a ton of space in here. Wait, we got this room. Is this the same room? Yes, it is. This is the sink here, and here's the sink. Here's more of the right side of the wall. I wonder if Martin is in stream. This looks like his type of game. So compositionally, I would maybe raise or lower the camera just to get this line here to separate from the window. The other thing I think I would do is maybe not try and worry about the other camera angles. Like you can get this angle, this one. You can get that one by just making this one a little bit wider. Maybe you don't need to focus on the stuff on this side and just like widen it to the right a little bit. But the lighting, I'm really down with the lighting. There's a lot of variety in here. Oh man, come on. What I would do is maybe like do this. So put it maybe something like this. Right? Compositionally, I think this will be stronger. and you'll really like, you'll get to show the whole ladder. I think you should only focus on this shot, but really love the lighting. Think about the cooler colors that come in with like outside lighting, right? You're gonna get bounce information here. Let's just do a camera raw real quick. We'll just turn up the lower the temperature. We'll do that, and then we can mask that out. Actually, we'll do it we'll do it the other way here. So you get the warmth here, right? And then everything else gets a little bit cooler. I like how jumbled it is too. It's a little bit natural. Maybe the drawers here are a little crazy, but these ones feel all right. I'm surprised there's not a basket full of clothes that's not like on the floor somewhere. Stuff and things. This feels good though. I would focus on just this shot. Compositionally, very strong. Lighting is really strong. And there's a lot of like details in here that you can play around with materials to really like push it. Yeah. Idea is to make a room for a poor janitor that likes to paint in his free time. I don't see any paintings. Maybe the rolls, right? I'm planning to add some paint cans, tubes, and lots of brushes. Nice. That'll be like your micro details. I mean, maybe instead of this ladder, you need to have like an easel here, and then like cups and stuff over here, maybe near the sink, some extra cups. I can see why you want to do the other angles. I would focus on this shot, but if you want to do the other angles, do those secondary. But otherwise, like this is dope. I don't have any comments actually. If you do this view, don't worry about the wall being too blank. It's fine. Walls are blank all the time. But yeah, one angle is going to be really beneficial for you, especially with all these assets you got to make. And save these assets. Once you make the scene, save those assets, use them in another scene somewhere. You'll save yourself a ton of time. Victor, bro, look at that. Look at those eyes. So this is really cool. Current work in progress for an upcoming short film of mine and some friends. Would love to get some feedback on these, especially because it's still in the creation process. Hang on. Maybe I need to see it in motion. Dang, that's kind of cool. There's a lot of like secondary motion happening on the feathers. It stops after a little while, so this is something that, you know, I'm sure you're still going. But the initial animation there is really nice. Let's see what's going on here. That is a confident walk. Holy cow. I want to walk like that. I walk like a game dev. I don't know what to say. So the legs feel like they really... I want to walk like that. Those legs feel really like boof, boof, boof. Maybe it's stepping too far forward. I don't know. This is looking cool though. I think framing. I need to see the animatic, like, so you can get cloth sim. Oh, nice, man. Good usage. I want to see an animatic of like shot to shot to shot. I want to understand what the plan is for the video. That's really what I want to feedback on. Asset wise, I don't want to say anything yet because I don't know what you're focusing on. Generally, this feels pretty good. Framing wise, this is a little weird how like it feels like it should be further back so you can get the whole like frame. But really cool. 1 second. I don't have 1 second, man. No, I have to get out of here. We're 8 minutes over on the stream. But Please post this in critiques. You can put the animatic in critiques. Oops, indeed. Oops, indeed. My fault. My fault. Yeah, you can hear the thud of his foot. Okay. Hassel, please post that in the critiques channel. I'd love to see it. Or just in the work in progress channel, the Weibo channel. Maybe I can react to it while I'm on the couch or something. Yeah, done. Oh my God. Okay, cool. Cool. All right. I'm sorry. I have to get out of here. But you guys are crushing it today. Man, some amazing work from you guys. And lots of growth too from people that are just pushing their quality. Oh man. This you guys should be proud. It's pretty sick. And it's nice to see some characters in here. Very good stuff. Awesome pieces. Okay. I'll see you guys later. Here's the Discord if you're new. And I appreciate you guys so very, very much. I'll see you in the Discord. Enjoy your Friday. And yeah, I'll see you on Sunday or in the Discord. Bye.